I'd like to welcome the first speaker of this session, and the person I'm going to be introducing is Dr. Iain de Havilland. He's from South Africa to the world. He's taking the future of wellness to the new frontiers. It is my honor to introduce a visionary leader who stands at the intersection of science, regeneration, and human potential. Iain de Havilland is the founder and the CEO of NAD Clinic Group, with global clinics and groundbreaking work in NAD therapy, exozyme, peptides. He is redefining longevity and performance by restoring the innate intelligence of the body. His mission is not just to extend life, but to elevate the quality of living physically, mentally, and spiritually. Now, what makes his presence at the African Wellness Summit so powerful is that his philosophy deeply aligns with our roots, healing from within, honoring ancestral wisdom, merging tradition with innovation. As Africa rises to lead the next chapter of global wellness, his work reminds us that the continent is not following the world, it is guiding the world. So please join me in welcoming a pioneer carrying South Africa's spirit onto the global stage, Dr. Iain de Havilland. Welcome. As we see where I come from, Jambo and Karibu.
Thanks, Josephine, for the introduction. Just want to say quickly, I'm actually not a doctor, so I just want to put that out there. So, so good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real honor and a privilege to have been invited here today to share some insight and some backstory about myself, my organization, my wellness journey that effectively originated in South Africa all those years ago. Before I start, I'd like to quickly say a big thanks to Michelle and the Africa Wellness Initiative team, along with Susie Ellis and the Global Wellness Institute, for putting this incredible event together and for shining a light on the African wellness landscape. So thanks very much. And, so I'll start. My name's Iain de Havilland. I'm the CEO and the founder of NAD Clinic Group. I'm 54 years old. I'm a proud father of two amazing kids. I'm also deeply passionate about sustainability and the future of our planet. My career is originally started in international finance, so I'll caveat today's presentation by stating that I'm not a more holistic perspective on wellness and longevity. Some of my passions include developing and delivering innovative wellness interventions that support optimal human performance, democratization of wellness and longevity, and building partnerships and collaborations with people and organizations who share the same integrity, philosophy, and ethos. What I'll do is I'll give a quick, I'm mindful that I don't have too much time, so I'll give a quick couple of minutes about my backstory and how I got into wellness and into NAD Plus specifically, and also how I was introduced to the African continent. And then I'll probably show a PowerPoint presentation. I think it's probably easy to do it that way. So my journey into wellness started in 2015. I made an investment in a rehab business in Europe. And the objective of that rehab was slightly different. We were going against the grain and trying to reinvent a model, which was traditionally quite long-term stays from 28 days and more. Being from the financial service industry, I saw a lot of friends and colleagues go into rehabs over the years for mental health issues, for addiction issues, for executive burnout, things like that. So I was determined to reinvent the wheel effectively. So I was looking for protocols to enable this. One of those protocols that was suggested to me was NAD plus IV therapy. I started to delve into NAD plus, and I discovered that the original pioneers of the therapy were actually from South Africa. So with my sort of curious mind, I traveled to South Africa. I became good friends with these people. I've discovered that there also that South Africa was the only country in the world that had NAD plus registered on the medical register. So that gave me an opportunity to invest in South Africa and develop the protocol out of South Africa. I started to use NAD plus actually myself, and it made me feel amazing. I felt sort of reborn. At the time I was leading quite a busy and hedonistic life, and I was kind of super rejuvenated. So I started to ask, as part of this journey, why was NAD sort of NAD plus solely for addiction, and why can it be for human performance optimization, for wellness, for longevity, for all the things it's kind of become synonymous with today? And no one could really give me an answer as to why not. So basically, I invested in an R&D team down in South Africa. We developed a whole raft of new protocols, and we went about reinventing the wheel and started to export NAD plus injectables initially, then some different therapeutics, and then a range of supplements to the rest of the world, which we still do today. So that's a quick short backstory about NAD plus and how I got into wellness in South Africa. So my presentation today is from Cape Town to the world and how we can help shape the future of wellness and longevity in Africa. But my vision, my personal vision for Africa, imagine an Africa alive with health, purpose and innovation, where longevity is universal, not elite, where the rhythm of wellness pulses through science, culture and the land itself, a continent reimagined, thriving, equitable and timeless. Africa as a new emerging global wellness leader. For anyone who doesn't know what NAD plus is a vital coenzyme found in every cell in our bodies. It converts nutrients into energy and regulates over 500 key metabolic processes that are essential for cellular function. NAD plus is essential for energy metabolism, powering our mitochondria to produce ATP that gives us our physical energy. And NAD plus directly and indirectly influences our metabolic pathways, supports DNA repair, cellular senescence, and improves our immune cell function. These cellular processes and functions are critical for maintaining good physical and mental health, warding off illness and disease, and for healthy aging. Unfortunately, our NAD plus levels start to decline with age at around 30 years old, and this decline is exacerbated by poor lifestyle choices or illness. And by regulating and elevating our NAD plus levels, we're able to improve our mental and physical performance and optimize our cellular health and wellness. So NAD Group are a multifaceted organization and the world's largest international producer and purveyor of premium NAD plus therapeutics and longevity medicines. With a presence in 40 plus countries and across 5 continents and key hubs with proprietary licensed production facilities in the UK, South Africa, Greece and Japan, NAD Clinic Group operates at a truly global scale. We collaborate with leading clinicians, physicians, functional health practitioners, medical spas, hoteliers and professional sports organizations worldwide. At the heart of NAD Clinic Group lies a science-backed, evidence-led philosophy built on partnerships and collaboration. So the global ecosystem. Our commitment to excellence has made NAD Clinic Group the foremost global supplier of premium NAD plus injectables and longevity medicine. Today, we're proud to serve over 500 global affiliates and international clinical partners. Much of this production is actually done still today in South Africa. These are the 5 business units and revenue streams of NAD Clinic: B2B wholesale, clinical activity, training academies, direct-to-consumer e-commerce, and global partnerships. And we still have a working clinic in Cape Town, which we launched in 2018. So these are some of the products that we produce. So we produce injectables, typically NAD plus injectables, but there's also several other longevity medicines, IV protocols, a range of therapeutics, diagnostics. We do a whole portfolio of peptides today. We produce exosomes. We're involved in the WellTech side of the business. And we've recently launched QEEG brain mapping. For us, we see a massive future in actually managing brain longevity. There's been a lot said about, obviously, the longevity industry in the last 5 years, but much of this has been focused on physical longevity. So we've got a big focus today on brain longevity. NAD Clinic's products always science-backed and evidence-led. NAD Clinic injectables are the only NAD plus product produced with full Pharmatech anti-tamper and anti-counterfeit safety technology. NAD Clinic's proprietary NAD plus injectable is the oldest formulation globally. It was first registered in South Africa in 1975. NAD Clinic's proprietary NAD Plus formulation is a manufactured product using only naturally fermented organic raw materials. We don't use synthetic products. NAD Clinic injectables are manufactured in GMP facilities, exclusively focused on manufacturing NAD Plus. We don't mix with other preparations that eliminate cross-contaminate risks. And NAD Clinic are a batch producer with a certificates of analysis, third-party LAL safety testing, and in-house third-party paragen test on every batch. NAD Clinic's NAD Plus is enzymatically produced through a validated triple filtration process, consistently delivering the purest NAD Plus available. Some new innovations that are coming to Africa in Q4 of this year. I won't read out all the benefits, but the new SQX Smart Pen, it's already been released in the UK, Europe, and in the US. It's a pen produced in United Kingdom that uses the same premium pure NAD Plus formulation that's become synonymous with NAD Clinic's gold standard injectable products that produced globally over the past decade, and is the only NAD Plus manufactured in a GMP-approved production facility. And we plan to be launching in South Africa initially, and then rolling out across continental Africa in Q1 of next year. This is our vision to democratize wellness through innovation. So we're reimagining a world where wellness and longevity are accessible to all, powered by science, technology, common sense, and human intelligence. Through innovation, we're breaking barriers so that living longer, healthier lives is no longer a luxury, but a universal possibility. Our mission at NAD Clinic is to democratize health span and longevity, uniting modern science with indigenous intelligence to bring a future where everyone thrives, that brings wellness within everyone's reach. This is the potential of wellness in the African continent as I see it anyway. So Africa stands at the dawn of a wellness revolution, one grounded in its rich heritage, youthful energy, and a spirit of innovation. And as the world searches for more holistic and sustainable approaches to health, Africa offers a blueprint that unites ancient wisdom with cutting-edge science to redefine what it means to live well and to live long. And some of the key USPs to enable this: Africa is a continent rich in wellness capital. The cultural wealth represents not only history, but a foundation for a modern, globally resonant wellness economy. There's youth and innovation with over 60% of its population under the age of 25. Africa is actually home to the world's youngest and most dynamic demographic. And bridging indigenous wisdom and modern science, the future of wellness in Africa lies in the integration where indigenous knowledge systems meet biotechnology, data science, and sustainable development. So here's my vision for NAD Clinic Group in Africa: for democratizing health, united science and culture, and redefining longevity for all. By 2030, our ambitious plan for the continent of Africa is to build a Pan-African wellness and longevity ecosystem that integrates world-class science, local culture, and sustainable innovation. It creates access to advanced wellness solutions for all Africans, regardless of geography or income, by democratizing wellness and longevity through our innovation. We aim to deliver this through a multidimensional strategy built around 4 key pillars: access and equity, indigenous integration, innovation and technology, education and empowerment, bringing cutting-edge NAD Plus interventions and cellular health therapies, nutraceuticals, and longevity medicine protocols to African countries and communities that have been historically underserved. I'm not sure I'm doing for time, actually. Maybe I'm ahead of time. So if anyone wants
halfway, Iain, half time.
So we're just halfway.
Only half time. Only halfway. We'll have to go along.
Yes.
I
So
thought
I'm just
20 minutes.
So I'll ask you a question.
Okay.
So when you look at back, when people look back 50 years from now,
Yeah.
what do you hope NAD Clinic will have changed in the world, and particularly in Africa?
I think it's the democratization element. We're working on so many new innovations, so many new projects all around opening up, not just Africa, but emerging markets around the world, which are typically underserved. We've got a new product called NAD Air, which is going to be coming out soon, which is, it's a dry powder inhalation system where it's going to be delivering the same efficacy and bioavailability, and it's hopefully priced at like under $100 a month. So we're working on products like this all the time. I think for so long that certainly the longevity and human performance optimization fields have been sort of dominated by super expensive protocols and interventions. So we hope we're going to be a pioneer and leading sort of democratization of the industry.
Okay. So when you talk, you keep on referring to longevity. And so when you talk about longevity, is it only living longer or is it living deeper in a meaningful way for you?
For me, longevity it starts with health span. It's about living well longer, and so it's obviously being emotionally well as well as being physically well, and living your best life. So it's more. For me, it's more about health span and bridging that gap between health span and lifespan.
On the question of premium global brand and health in the world, what does it take to build a premium brand in a global market today? Like you've showed us about your 500 places that you've really been able to capture over. So what has it taken you to get there?
A lot of our hard work and sticking to our principles and sticking to our integrity and always working with premium partners, opening up collabs. I'm a big believer in collaboration. So we've been collaborating with some amazing partners over the years. We've been fortunate, I guess, because this whole wave, especially in the last three or 4 years since COVID ended, to me, it's the fast wellness and wellness and longevity are the kind of fastest growing industries on the planet right now. So we're very fortunate to be in the middle of that, and obviously being a niche product within that. It's been a hard decade. I mean, to be honest, COVID almost bankrupted us as a business. We were exposed to a lot of bricks and mortar, especially in South Africa. We had a lot of problems in South Africa. I know you guys had it sort of in South Africa, maybe in Africa, not so much. During the COVID period, it was really, really bad. So for us, we actually had to move away from South Africa for a while. That's kind of the rationale behind just work with really good people, stick to your principles, always try to be pioneering and innovative, and that's what we've managed to do.
Okay. So today we're talking about Africa, remembering Africa, reawakening. So when you talk about science meeting ancestral wisdom, do you see a connection between ancient African wisdom and today's biohacking or longevity science? Is there any connection?
Well, I think there's going to be shared philosophy and beliefs that there's going to be a segue and an interconnection there. We work in other parts of the world as well. With similar we work in India and Southeast Asia. We've got similar sort of demographics and similar ancient sort of philosophies and wisdoms. And so I think it's all interjoined, and interconnected. To give you some examples of like traditional Chinese medicines and Ayurvedics, we're working in these other parts of the world, and it's all coming together. I think there's going to be some consolidated mix of old and new, and I think that is the future. We're seeing that in other parts of the world, and I actually see the same happening in Africa.
Perfect. So I'm going to open 3 questions to the audience. If you can just have 3 questions.
We have a question from Esther. Would you like me to read it out, or are you?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Esther says that she works with NAD Plus in a natural form called Time Plus by Nuchido. And NAD Plus is not found naturally in the bloodstream and can create the opposite of the desired effect, which is inflammation in the body as it tries to rid itself of the intravenous NAD plus. So she asks, do you have oral formulations? Do your clients experience initial unwellness after IV NAD plus?
This is absolutely incorrect. This is just this kind of narrative is kind of usually put forward by supplement producers who, to sort of undermine the efficacy of NAD+. We produce over 10,000 infusions every month for NAD+. We've got there's never been an adverse reaction. In terms of the administration of NAD+, when you actually are administering NAD+, there is chest tightening and there is a little bit of nausea, but this is easy to regulate. And this is due to it's an adenosine reaction to NAD+, but we see no adverse reactions with injectables. And on the flip side of it, we do produce a supplement as well. We do produce an oral supplement called Optima Max, which is 250 milligrams of pure NAD+, which is really popular. But yeah, there's absolutely no adverse reactions to NAD+ that we know of.
Thank you, Iain. The next question is, I'm also curious, this is from Tereraishe. I'm also curious if you have other forms of uptake, ingestion, or skin patches.
We tried transdermal patches a while ago. To be honest, it was difficult to get the efficacy to work. We're very much around science, and we do a lot of testing, and before we go to market with a product. And we couldn't really get the maximum efficacy that we were comfortable with. In terms of other therapeutics, we do nasal sprays, we do subcutaneous injections, which has become super popular, which is basically the same as the GLP-1 pen, but we just put NAD+ inside the pens. We've also got a range of peptides, which are doing the same as well. So yeah, transdermal patches, no, but a number of other therapeutics that we deliver NAD+ with.
Thank you, Iain. Josie, how many more questions would you like based on?
Only have one more question.
Okay, great. So we have a question from Shane. Do you push with ondansetron?
Yes.
Okay.
We don't. It's not mandatory, but we do recommend it. That alleviates the side effects of the administration of NAD+. We talked about a few moments ago. That alleviates the majority of those. So yeah, anti-nausea medication prior to an NAD IV infusion really works and helps.
Thank you.
So those are our 3 questions. And now the last question is going to go to you, Iain de Havilland. When you look back and with all the passion that you've created, the NAD clinic, and every work and every sweat and every time that you've put into it, what legacy do you personally want to leave in the story of global well-being? When people hear about your name, what story do you want them to remember?
Well, for me personally, I just think I just like people to always think of me, as someone with absolute integrity and philosophy. With a solid philosophy, which I stuck to. I've never deviated from my ambitions, and always maintained, I think, a really good set of values. So, and I'm, as I mentioned at the beginning, with not being from a medical or a science or a pharma background, initially it was hard. You feel it's almost like you have the imposter syndrome. But I think now, looking back at this situation, it's given me a more holistic view of the wellness industry, and it's enabled me to see things a little bit different than someone who's maybe pigeonholed from any of those three modalities. But yeah, so that's just a good person trying his hardest and to make the world a better place, really.
Thank you very much, Iain de Havilland, for your time. We appreciate you.